Well, I'm here with one of my favorite people, Erica Overturf. She's the artistic director and CEO of American Midwest Ballet, and also entering into one of my favorite times of year. And this has to be probably my absolute favorite performance. So, Erica, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me.
And of course, we're talking about the Nutcracker. Um, I think that is just a tradition that so many people um, enjoy. And let's talk a little bit about, um, you know, let's talk a little bit about what that means, and we'll get into the performances. So take it away.
Thank you. Well, the Nutcracker is just such an iconic ballet. It's one that everyone usually recognizes the music. It's set to a beautiful score by Tchaikovsky, and it has many roles for young dancers as well as challenging and beautiful dancing for the professional dancers. So I think that's part of the special thing about it is that you get to see performers of all ages up on the stage helping tell the story, and it just makes it so charming.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the performance in itself, because you have the professional dancers and then you say the young dancers. So how does let's talk about those two different um groups. So the young dancers, let's talk a little bit more about that.
Sure. So we have our professional company. They are working with us every day. That's their job. They come from all over the country and abroad and audition for jobs to dance with the company. And so they perform in all of our shows, of course. And then for performances like the Nutcracker, we hold community auditions.
Okay.
So we invite dancers from all over the community, whether they train at our school or any school in the area, to come and audition for a role. And they just do such a wonderful job, like just to see them learn new skills, work together to grow as young performers. And I think it's something that they will always remember. And yeah, it's just really neat to see those dancers get a mentorship opportunity alongside the professionals.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I can't imagine how exciting that, would be for a young dancer. And again, I used to take many ballet lessons and tap lessons. And I also remember as a very young child going to the Nutcracker and seeing it at the Orpheum, which I know is one of the venues that this will be, the Nutcracker will be performing at. But I just, yeah, that's what an experience, and for these young dancers to be able to take that away with them. So
And we do many school shows as well as lots of families come to the public shows. And I think it is especially fun for the students to see other kids up on stage
yeah,
as well. They love seeing the kids, they love the dog, and they love bourrées, which I know since you studied dance, it's when, ballerinas are up on the very tip of their toe, kind of
yes,
floating around, staying up on point. Which, not to say it doesn't take training, but it's not the hardest step that we do. But it is fun when we do that. And those young audiences, those school audience are just, they love that particular moment. So we always enjoy things like that when we're performing. And for the Nutcracker, that's the largest student audience we reach. Usually over 6,000 students come to the Orpheum every year. And a lot of
wow.
them, that's their first time coming to the theaters, their first ballet that they've seen. And so I think that is also part of why it's such a special tradition for
Yeah.
us.
And it is, I mean, it is such a magical performance. You're in the holidays, and it just, yeah, I'm just kind of taking myself back to being in the audience and watching that. And it really is very magical. Um, so let's talk a little bit about what makes this ballet so special, because it is really special.
Oh, thank you. Do you mean our version of it? Like what's unique about our version or just the Nutcracker
Just in general,
in
I mean,
general?
okay, because as I'm looking kind of at our talking points about it being a
Yeah.
charming story, the visual, the visual,
Mhm.
component of it too, which all takes, the story, the visual, and then the beautiful dancers. So It's a very,
Yeah, well,
it's a
yeah, I
special
think
time.
um part of part of that is there is so much just visually entertaining to
Yeah.
see. The dancers, for instance, in act 1, Clara is transported to several different locations, so you see the whole setting change right before your eyes, which is kind of cool. We see the interior of, a beautifully appointed parlor set for a holiday party in the beginning, and then kind of turns into more of a nightmare that Clara
Hmm.
has. And then she's whisked away to the land of snow, which is just such a nice transition. And of course, the snow falls on stage and the dancers are swirling and dancing. So, um, Act 1 is very rewarding in that way. And then I think in Act 2, there are many, many short dances. A lot of those variations, while they are challenging for the dancers, they're only 1 or 2 minutes long, many of them. And so we pack a lot in that little bit of time, but at each one, the costumes change, the music changes, what you're seeing changes. And so it's a lot of short divertisement. And it just keeps it very entertaining and fun. There's just something new and new and new for the audience to see. And then, there's the familiar music
Yes.
that,
I was just thinking about that. Yeah.
yeah, you know how music can really um, create a feeling, a
Yeah.
memory, and I think that's part of why we relate to the Nutcracker too. The music in of itself is beautiful, but then it just gives you that feeling of the holidays or remembering attending performances or remembering performing, for young dancers that are maybe now audience goers as adults. So,
Yeah. Well, let's talk about, because you've got many performances at two different venues. So let's talk a little bit about that, where it's starting over in Council Bluffs at the Hoff Center and then coming over to Omaha at the Orpheum. So I'll let you give
yes,
more
yes.
details about that.
Well, so we open actually before
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, the weekend before Thanksgiving. And it's just a nice way to start off the holidays. That will be at the Hoff Family Arts and Culture Center, which is a beautiful facility. It's a little bit more of an intimate setting. And we also have a sensory friendly performance of the Nutcracker on that Sunday, which was created to increase accessibility for
Okay.
people on the autism spectrum. And so there's been
Nice.
a few working in collaboration with Autism Action Partnership. We
Mhm.
made some specific, lots of just little specific accommodations that can help make that show more accessible for people. So
Yeah.
that's been a nice addition. And that's part of our Hoff weekend of performances. And then after Thanksgiving, the first weekend in December, then we will be performing at the Orpheum Theater. And that's when we reach those, 6,000 school students, as well as a whole weekend of performances for the public. And that that venue of itself too is just it's gorgeous, and it's just a wonderful setting for the Nutcracker, and it allows us to reach so many people that attend.
Well, we've got about a minute left, and I just want to. So, how many years has American Midwest Ballet, knowing that there was a name change not too long ago? How long have you been performing the Nutcracker?
Well, this is our 13th season.
Yeah.
So it's an annual tradition. We do it every year, with the only exception being, I believe, 2020,
Sure.
which we all
Sure.
remember. Um, but even that year, we shared a virtual performance with everyone in the community. So we really haven't skipped a year
Yeah.
of the Nutcracker. And we also perform it on tour. This year, we'll be going to Spirit Lake, Iowa.
Okay.
So we're looking forward to that as well. When we go on tour, we incorporate local children in whatever community we go to, too. So it will be a very busy Nutcracker season, but we are really looking forward to it, and it's just around the corner.
Yeah. Well, Erica, I know we'll come back after the first of the year and talk more about American Midwest Ballet, just kind of, overall, because you've got then one more performance happening in the spring season, which is the Wizard of Oz, correct?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
so we'll talk more about that. But again, just knowing, yep, this performance is coming up. And again, it's such a beautiful way to, spend time with your family, have a girls' night out, and just really appreciate just the artistic. These dancers, they're doing this because they're passionate about it. And you, as a dancer, speaking for yourself, I know that, it's a love that you have, and then you
Yeah.
bring that to life on stage.
That's true. The dancers work very hard, but we do this job because we love it, and we love performing for people and sharing that work and that joy and that energy, telling a story, helping transport people to be able to come into the theater, let the lights darken, and just be transported into a whole nother world, a whole nother story. And that's our job, and
Yeah.
that's a cool job to get to do. So we're very excited to be getting to do that with the Nutcracker here coming soon.
All right. So you can find lots of information, or all information, on amballet.org. You can buy tickets there, and a lot of great other information about what you do throughout the year. So Erica, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
And folks, we'll be right back. Well, hello, my friends. As part of our nonprofit holiday extravaganza, I'm here with Lacey Locklear. She is the Chief Development Officer for Completely Kids. Excited to hear about what's happening this holiday season. Lacey, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me, Andy. It's so great to see you again.
You too. All right, so let's start off first. What is the mission of Completely Kids?
Absolutely. Completely Kids' mission is to educate and empower kids and families to create really a safe, healthy, successful, and connected community. And we do that through 5 main areas of focus: after school programming, adult education, teen engagement, mental health services, and a weekend food program.
And here we are. Hard to believe it's the holidays 2022, but I know you have several things and how the community can contribute and be a part of the organization and helping those you serve. So I'm just going to let you take it away.
Absolutely. Holiday time at Completely Kids can be really, really special. We actually host a holiday party at all 17 sites that we offer services at. So it's very special, very magical. And there's some really great ways that people can support us. One is just with our holiday gift drive. And what that is we have people from the community buy a holiday gift for every child in our program. And for some of these kids, the reality is it may be their only one this season. So we collect thousands of holiday gifts wrapped through our doors, and every single child in our programs gets to have one of those. So that's a really great way to support us. And for any of these things I'm going to talk about, if people just want to email info@completelykids.org, we can get all the information that they're wanting to hear more about through that email.
Perfect.
And then for those that maybe are like, I really want to make an impact this year, my family really wants to give back, we've been very fortunate. We have a beautiful adoptive family program. And this program is really identified at families who've had a harder year. They've either lost jobs, lost family members, and could really use a little extra holiday spirit. And so someone in the community can adopt that family, and they're going to get a list of items that could really support them this season. It can be anything from cookware to maybe they need some bedding, maybe they need new work boots, and then some of those gifts for those kids to make sure that their tree is filled underneath. And then, as I mentioned, we have holiday parties at all of our sites. And through that, with the 17 sites, people can sponsor an activity if they're interested. So if they want to bring cookie decorating to our kids, making ornaments, anything that really is going to be that true connection to those donors, they can bring to our kids here at Completely Kids. So really great specific holiday opportunities there. But we also, for anyone who's just wanting to give back to the agency, we are doing our year-end appeal. And this appeal really just goes at supporting Completely Kids as a whole agency and allows us to really look at where do we have gaps in funding and where do we really need to put more efforts towards. We all know food prices are crazy. They are
Yeah.
nuts. And when you're feeding a family of 5, we feed 860 children every single week. So I'm sure people could see what our bills are like at Hy-Vee. So those are some of the areas we're really looking to fill some needs. So if people wanted to really make an impact with our agency, giving to our year-end appeal through our website and our Give Now donation button will be a tremendous help.
Well, okay, that was great. And like, like we said, this is a really quick interview, but we do have like a minute left. So I'm going to ask you a couple
Okay,
questions.
great.
So for the gifts that people, do they drop them off? And I know you said before we go into that, email info@completelykids.org for more information.
Yes. So
But
anyone,
for gifts,
those are, yeah.
for gifts, do they drop them off to your location or any
Yes,
of the
they
locations?
will. Yes. So as soon as they adopt a child or adopt a family, they will get a spreadsheet with gifts listed.
Okay.
And then
Nice.
we ask that they are wrapped, labeled, and dropped off to our building here. And we will make sure they get directly into those hands of those kids or that family.
Yeah, I actually did that not too long ago, a couple years ago, and I mean, honestly, for me, it was super fun. I went out and shopped for the family, and it was just a really great experience knowing that you're contributing back. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, and
And
like
we, I'm sorry, all of our gifts we ask stay about in the $25 range for our kids. So it's really, really feasible for anybody looking to give back. We're not asking for, trampolines. We're just asking for that
yeah,
little something that's going to make a child, smile on this holiday season.
yeah. All right, Lacey, thank you so much for joining me today. And everybody, again, completelykids.org, info@completelykids.org. And yeah, let's make it a really special holiday season for everyone that they serve. So Lacey, thank you.
Thank you, Andy.
And folks, we'll be right back. Well, hello, my friends. I'm excited to be here with Rayanne Nell. She's the brand strategy director for the Omaha Home for Boys. Rayanne, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Well, it's that time of year, and I know you're just about ready in about a week to kick off Project Christmas Joy. So I'm just going to let you take it away and tell us what it's all about.
All right. Well, Andy, I wore my festive holiday sweater because we're already thinking about Christmas here at Omaha Home for Boys. So yes, we have Project Christmas Joy coming up November 22nd through December 6th. Project Christmas Joy is our annual drive to collect both gifts and needs for all of the youth, young adults, and families here at Omaha Home for Boys. So this year we will be celebrating with about 160 youth and young adults and families. So quite a few people that we're hoping to get a gift as well as a need for this Christmas.
So tell me, 160, is that kind of more than you've done in the past, or how does that kind of look, compared to past years? Because I know you serve so many.
We do. Throughout all of our 6 core programs, we do serve about 160. That is pretty similar to years past. However, one thing that's a little bit different this year is, of course, those lasting effects of the pandemic. We have so many young families and youth that really struggle to make ends meet in more of your typical or normal year. This year, it's even a little bit more challenging just with those lasting effects of the pandemic and rising costs of kind of everything around us. So that's really one of the reasons that Project Christmas Joy is so important, just because so much of their income is spent on just the basics. It's really hard for them to find that wiggle room to give a few gifts at Christmas time.
All right, so talk about how this works. So what are your needs? What are your wants? And how does this work for what people can, how they can contribute?
Right. So we are looking for new items this time of year, just because we do want to provide those special gifts for our youth and families. Some of the things that top our list this year are electronics. So Bluetooth speakers, any of those kind of handheld electronics that teens or young adults might be interested in. We also have a large need for some home basics, which I love the home basics category because not only is it a gift, but it's also an essential need. So things like bedding, kitchen items, bath towels, vacuums, some of those things that can kind of double as gifts and necessities are really cool in the home goods category. And then also a big need this year is also some of those recreation items. So board games for little ones, art kits, makeup kits, things like that, that young adults, teens, and then also some of our young families who have little ones would like.
So do you require like a certain dollar amount for people to purchase and bring to you, or is it just kind of out shopping and then you take the items that people have gifted and then you kind of put them into the categories for the different families?
Right. So we have a few ways to give. People can give a monetary gift online on our website, which is ohb.org. I like to kind of suggest the $40 to $50 range, just because that's where a lot of our gifts fall. But of course, any amount, helps tremendously. We also have a really nice Amazon wish list set up. I love the Amazon wish list because people can go right on, shop for items. Yeah, it's great. Shop for items that we need and they ship directly to us. It works out perfectly if you want to pick out specific items that we really need. Also, if people have a favorite retailer locally that they love to shop at, you can take a look at our website again, which is ohb.org. We have a full list of our biggest needs there. You can head out to your favorite retailer and bring those to us here at our campus.
All right. Well, again, this is happening November 22nd through December 6th. We've got like 20 seconds left. This is a quick chat, but Omaha Home for Boys, give us the mission statement.
Our mission is to support and strengthen youth, young adults, and families, and empower and inspire them to become productive, successful members of our community.
Yeah. And again, and you just celebrated, you had a big anniversary actually a couple of years ago. Was it 100 years?
Yes, 100.
Yeah. So many things this organization has done for the past century, and a lot of information, like you said, on your website, in addition to Project Joy at ohb.org. So, and then /joy if you want to head there, but I know it's right on your homepage as well. So,
right.
Rianne, thank you so much for joining me today. And I just encourage you all, let's go shopping. So
thank you, Andy.
You're welcome.